All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Well, folks, it took some time, but we finally have our matchup set for the American League Championship Series as the Yankees and Guardians went the full distance, 5 games. And on top of that, they were able to navigate their way through several rain delays, which postponed the series, but it's all set to go. The Yankees, they're celebrating right now as we speak. And, a couple of hours from now, they know that they have to board a flight to Houston for game number one of the ALCS, which is set to take place tomorrow. Now, you think about these two clubs. And of course, I know that some of the players on the rosters have changed, as well as the managers have changed since then, but you still have some of the key components there on each side. And you think about what happened 5 years ago with the Yankees and Astros in the American League Championship Series. It was an epic uh 5 game, 7 game series, excuse me, that ended, with Jose Altuve getting that walk-off home run off of Aroldis Chapman. We then heard the stories later, as far as the Astros, being found to steal signs. The Yankees really took offense to that. They felt that they got robbed. But nonetheless, here we are, and let's see, because now it's put up or shut up time for both of these clubs, as one of them is 4 victories away from winning the AL pennant. Now, for the Astros, this is their sixth straight trip to the postseason. You know what this team knows how to do. They are consistently in the ALCS at least. We're talking about the Astros. They are the defending American League champions. And for Dusty Baker and his club, they just seem unraveled by everything. They just go out there and take care of their business. And I actually said 6 straight trips to the postseason, but it's also 6 straight seasons for the Astros where they have at least reached the American League Championship Series. So that, gives you an idea of the consistency that this team continues to have. And, in the LDS round, we saw top seeds being upset, but the Astros were the only team to go out there and sweep, as they put the Mariners away early. And honestly, they set the tone with their comeback win in game number one at home, and then they took care of business, and the rest is history. You look at this Astros team, and it does not matter which year that it is, there's always a different guy that steps up to the forefront and makes it happen. This time around, you look at the way that Jordan Alvarez is swinging the bat. He had that huge walk-off home run in game number one against Seattle, and it really went on to set the tone for that series. Jeremy Pena, the youngster, is swinging a quality bat. Jose Altuve didn't do anything in that series against Seattle. And at some point, you got to expect him to get going as well. You got veterans such as Alex Bregman on his team, Yuli Gurriel. And of course, you bring in a guy like Trey Mancini from Baltimore prior to the trade deadline. This is a guy who can contribute for this lineup as well. I look at this Yankee lineup, and in 2 of the last 3 games, Aaron Judge has hit a home run for the Bronx Bombers. And remember, he got booed earlier in this series by the fans at Yankee Stadium because he was not producing. Judge is a guy that it does not take much for him to get on a tear. And we've seen that this year. And honestly, we've seen that throughout his MLB career when he is healthy. Now, I think what the Yankees need to do, because they dropped Judge in the lineup from first to second, honestly, the Yankees, in my opinion, need to just stop shucking and jiving with this and put Judge where he needs to be, either in the 3 spot or the 4 spot, where he can get the proper protection. He can come up with guys on base and he could do his damage because, yes, Judge is a power hitter, but if you're focusing on the analytics, he's really not going to have a lot of situations to come up to the plate and do some damage. When he's batting behind the 8 and 9 guys in the batting order. He's a cleanup guy. And a cleanup guy is there for a reason because you need him to go yard when you have guys on base. Solo home runs don't hurt teams in the same fashion that 3-run home runs or grand slams do, of course. So that's something that Yankees should do. Will they do it? I doubt it. But the other guys in this Yankee lineup, Josh Donaldson, Anthony Rizzo, kind of been there, done that. He was part of that Cubs championship team in 2016. Harrison Bader, the veteran from St. Louis. You have Gleyber Torres. So there's plenty of pop in this lineup for the Yankees. And I think this Yankees lineup has the ability to put some stress on this Astros pitching staff in a way that the Mariners pitching staff couldn't do. But with that said, pardon me, not the Mariners pitching staff, the Mariners lineup, excuse me. But you still look at this Astros pitching staff. Justin Verlander didn't have a good game one against Seattle, and quality veteran guys like that, you don't expect them to have two bad games in a row, more or less two bad games in the postseason. Lance McCullers has really gotten back into form. Framber Valdez has been solid. We've seen this Houston bullpen, and of course, it was at its best in game number three versus Seattle, and of course, led by Luis Garcia, who had that tremendous performance to close things out when he went 5 innings. So that just gives you an idea of this battle tested group. Now, for this Yankees pitching staff, we saw Garrett Cole deliver in the Cleveland series. He pitched like the ace that the Yankees expect him to be, and he's going to have to continue to be lights out for the Yankees to pull this off. Luis Severino, can he consistently bring it? The same can be said for Nestor Cortez, and it's going to be important for Nestor Cortez because he's going to be dealing with Jordan Alvarez in this series, and then the Yankee bullpen. To me, when the Yankees bullpen is on, it's on, but when it's off, it's off. And then, of course, the managers. You got Dusty Baker. And Dusty Baker, yet again, finds himself in the postseason with a chance to go to the World Series. He got to the playoffs with the San Francisco Giants and the World Series. You think about his time with the Washington Nationals, the Cincinnati Reds, and now the Baltimore Orioles. Pardon me, the Houston Astros, excuse me. But nonetheless, this is a guy that wherever he goes, he wins. And then, of course, you got Aaron Boone. I mean, Aaron Boone has consistently gotten the Yankees to the postseason. So it's going to be a matter of ins and outs. Who's going to get and make that break or make that necessary move to get their respective club over the edge. I think this is a very intriguing and even series that we're going to see here. And there's not a lot of wiggle room, if you will, for either side. Obviously, the Yankees want to keep the momentum going. They've won their last two games, and now they want to go to Houston and definitely steal one. And the Astros want to come out there and set the tone in game number one tomorrow night. Yankees got to take advantage of the Astros not having played since Saturday, while Houston is hopeful that the rest will work in their favor. And for my money, just like we saw that series go the distance in 2017, I think this one is barreling down that same path. This is what the Yankee fans have been waiting for. Games three, four, and five are in the Bronx. And I guarantee you, those folks are going to come out and let their voices be heard. But if there's a team that is not going to be phased by all of that, it's these Astros because they're battle tested. But when it's all said and done, I'm going to take Houston to make it consecutive trips to the World Series. I'm picking them to get past the Yankees in 7 games. It's going to be a doozy. Might not be as good as the series that we saw between these two teams a couple of years ago, but nonetheless, it's still going to be a good one. Like I said, not a lot of room for wiggle room for error on either side. But I think when it's all said and done, the Astros have the slight edge over New York. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.